Thank you so much. Good morning and welcome to the City of Bessemer Operating Budget Fiscal Year 2020-2021, meeting number 4. The City of Bessemer. This meeting is now called to order. Please, counselors, let us do a silent word of prayer. Amen. Ms. Taylor,
Yes.
roll call, please.
Counselor Alexander, Counselor Collier, Counselor Crusoe,
Present.
Counselor Marshall,
Present.
Counselor Thickpen,
Present.
Counselor Matthews, Counselor Donald.
Present.
You have 4 present, 3 absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Ms. Pryor, are you on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay, hold on just one second.
Counselor Donald,
Yes, ma'am.
may I announce the arrival of Counselor Alexander?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Counselor Alexander?
Present.
Counselor Alexander arrived at the budget meeting at 10:02 a.m.
Thank you. Good morning, Counselor Alexander.
Good morning.
All right, Ms. Pryor. Ms. Taylor, is she still on the line?
She is, I think there she
Okay,
is.
I am. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was having some difficulties with my volume.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Ms.
May
Taylor,
I
will you
announce
announce the arrival of Counselor Matthews?
Yes, ma'am. Counselor Matthews arrived at the budget meeting at 10:03 a.m.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Pryor, it's in your hands.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So there were about 6 or 7 items that we needed to revisit with the budget. The first one that I want to look at is the department, one of the departments under Public Works, which is the dog pound, that particular budget, and or that particular item is 001-80600-525-007. And there was a question about the BJC contract.
What page are
What
you?
page was that?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so that's page 18 of the budget. Page 18. Okay, and there was a question about the vendor for this contract, the Birmingham Jefferson County Animal Control Service.
Your
Can't hear
volume.
you. Can't hear you.
Ma'am.
I can't hear you.
Okay, is that any better?
It's better now.
Okay. All right, thank you. Let me know if you can't hear me, if I need to adjust that volume. But we're on page 18, the dog pound division. There was a question on line item 525007 in reference to the BJC contract. So what that is contract with the Birmingham Jefferson County Animal Control Services, where they are intaking stray animals basically. And this contract is a per animal fee. That's how we pay the fee. The contract is $60,000 per year. And it's for housing, boarding, euthanization or what services are needed.
So it's a pay as needed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Well, we have a contract for $60,000, and the fee each month is based on the number of animals that are picked up, and it's done daily. The animals are picked up daily as calls come in, and these animals are transported up to Jefferson County. And so we pay per animal that they house, board, euthanize, or where they do the euthanization process.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just make sure we're on the same page with your explanation, Ms. Pryor. Good morning, first of all. The contract is a flat out $60,000 contract. So is it, because you're saying it's per animal along with a $60,000 contract? Are we saying that even though we're being charged per animal, the overall contract annually is $60,000? So, I mean, from whether it's one dog or 1,000 dogs, then we are on the contract, or this contract is up to 60,000. Can you just give me a little more clarity there?
Yes, ma'am. It's up to $60,000, but it's per animal up to that $60,000 amount
Yes,
of
ma'am.
the contract.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Pryor. Are there any more questions and concerns, counselors? Number two, Ms. Pryor.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
she said it was a monthly fee. How much is that monthly fee?
No, ma'am. The monthly fee is based on the number of dogs that are picked up. And so we
Okay.
get a monthly invoice based on the services that are provided. So it's going to fluctuate every month. It's not a per fee, it's not a per month fee. It just fluctuates based on activity.
Do you have the last number from last month?
No, not right now. I can get that for you, but I can bring that information.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Madam President.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Pryor, does someone look at this and verify that these animals were picked up in Bessemer? I mean, I'm just, Bessemer is considered so large that I know I get on my soapbox sometimes when Shelby County busted a drug house, and I was like, well, why did Shelby County bust a drug house in Bessemer? And it wasn't. It's just the address was Bessemer, but it was in Shelby County. So how do we know that these animals were picked up in the city limits of Bessemer?
Yes, ma'am. And my understanding is that they're not actually picked up. We pick them up, like our employees. We have animal control specialists, so I'm not exactly sure what they're called, but we have people on staff with the city of Bessemer that handles those activities. So we are the ones that are picking up those animals and taking them up to, Birmingham.
Okay, that answers that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Pryor. Item number 2, please.
Yes, ma'am. So if we can look at page 19, which is the street department. And there were 2 items here. The first one is 525014. Okay, and there was a question about maintenance and why the budget was increased on the maintenance. And this budget will, change from year to year, just depending on what needs to be done. But what needed to be done was construction due to roof damage and water damage. And so work that was done includes duct work and sheet work and replacing ceiling tiles because of damage to the roof, water damage. And that's the reason for that.
Ms. Pryor, I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for Ms. Pryor. Ms. Pryor, did this not come out the last budget for the roofing and everything? I remember us voting on it. Did that not come out the last budget?
Those charges are being incurred in this budget right now.
Thank you.
Chancellor Alexander, I think I asked a question when they came to us with the emergency roof, I think I asked, did that include the drywall and all? And Mayor Gully did state that it did not because they did not know at that time until they got the roof on and started to work on the inside what would be what we would need on the inside. Count. Okay, next item.
Yes, ma'am. The next item is on page 19 as well. It's item number, line item 525016. Okay, and so, that line item is repairs to equipment. And let's see, those are repairs for heavy equipment, which could be repairs to engines and bulldozers and backhoes and things of that nature. So those are the type of activities that will fall up under that line item. And we do have some contracts where for repairs on those, some are under warranty, I should say, and then some aren't. So those are expenses to keep those different heavy equipment items going and in good shape.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you said that this is for engine repairs and I heard and the bulldozers, different things of that sort. Am I correct with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're saying engines on the equipment, not the engines on vehicles, because we have the repair line for vehicles. This is just equipment repairs.
Yes, ma'am. It's different. We have a different line item for repairs to vehicles. This is just for those heavy equipment items like the bulldozers, things of that nature.
Not a problem. Thank you, ma'am. I'm just trying to get my records and notes straight. Thank you so much, Ms. Pryor. Thanks, President.
Thank you, councilors. Are there any more questions on this page? Okay, Miss Pryor.
Yes, ma'am. And on the same page, 525021, we talked about the weed ordinances. So this is for signs, letters, postage, hiring contractors to cut, lawns and everything. And I talked to Lawrence, and we expect to resume those activities. We talked about this when we had the last budget meeting, but I just wanted to add a little bit more clarity. But some of those activities were halted because of COVID-19, and he did ask, that budget could remain there because he wanted to resume those activities once we, they'll pick back up, and they were halted because of COVID. But it's paying the contractors to cut the lawns, it's letters and signage and postage and all of those activities to notify property owners.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Pryor, as far as with hired contractors, when we have weed nuisances onto certain properties, we're not using city employees to clear these lots. I guess my question is, are these jobs done by our city employees? And if it's something that exceeds their expertise, that we hire contractors, or all of these are just cleared by contractors?
Yes, and I did speak to Lawrence about that to clarify, and he said that some activities are done, of course, with our staff, but then some activities they need to contract out, or they may need assistance from outside contractors. And that's what that money is for, when they need assistance to use outside contractors.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I've seen it both ways as well, but at the same time, I've seen some callbacks, especially in the pipe shop area, where they go out there and and have to recut again. And I think, well, at a minimum, we need to make sure we get contractors that can thoroughly do the work and not have to call them back again. And two in Pacific, one on short 14th Street between the Creek and 22nd Avenue, and the other one on 22nd Avenue, where they had to go back and do it a second time because they just ran over it and laid the weeds down. So there again, I think we need to get people that can do the work right the first time. And in addition to that, don't let it get so darn high. I mean, when you got in their defense, it's a two-headed sword, look like, because when grass get to be over knee high in any yard, it's hard for a tractor to go in there and cut, let alone a lawnmower. And I got some headed that way now. So anyway, I just thought I'd say I seen it go both ways. The city employees, they do a good job, but these contractors go in there and laying stuff down, and we letting it get too high. So and with the amount of rain that we've had in some low-lying areas, these weeds are just tumbling, just growing like wildfire. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir, Mayor Gurley. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning to you, and good morning to all who are listening. Both the answers and so are correct, but the majority, as you all know, from Ms. Camille coming up and doing something weed nuisance. One, it's a process, so it's not as easy as going in and just cutting and stuff to lots. And the majority of the time, if a lot get cut about once, possibly twice a season, it's going to be very, very rare that you're going to be able to work that process back around. It's not like and stuff cutting your yard every 2 weeks, as you all and stuff know. And so, but the street department is basically used on almost kind of an emergency type situation, but the majority, which is probably going to be 75 to 80%, are contracted out to individuals. I agree there's been sometimes it has not been to my satisfaction, but we actually have staff that go out before individual invoices submitted to each one of those properties and sign off and stuff on whether and so that property is to the city's satisfaction. We'll get in stuff with the staff to make sure and stuff that they are doing that and making sure before they sign off on those invoices that those properties are cut appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Gurley. Ms. Pryor?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. The next question was regarding park and recreation. And if you'll take a look at page 22, okay, 525005 on page 22. Okay, and so this is park and recreation. So there was a question about justification for the budget there. And those items will include replacing grass at parks as needed, fertilization, weed killer, supplies for the new walking trail, and things of that nature.
What line number item is this again?
Yes, ma'am. Page 22. Page 22. Line item 525005. And it's the
Councilor Crusoe, that was that line that we asked about. I think it was Councilor Alexander asked about why did we have it at 35, and there was some justification given to at least to cut it to 25 and or 20. But we think Councilor Matthews came back in and asked that we allow Mr. Persons to give a
justification as we have done the others.
Right.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Justification. I'm writing and trying to talk to a justification as we had given the other department head.
I remember that.
Okay, you remember that?
Yes,
okay. So are we going to leave it at 35? And the reason, my reason for asking you all to leave it at 35 is because the senior citizens over in the Southside Community Park, they this has been the 5th year now. They've asked for at least three pieces of exercise equipment, so they won't have to try to go down to Carver Park and stand and have to wait to use that exercise equipment down there. I've spoken with Mr. Persons, and he said that he had in years prior, when I say years prior, less than 5 years, brought this up about the exercise equipment, but it never was stated that it was okay to place that exercise equipment over there. I would ask, instead of cutting this budget, let us get at least 2 or 3 pieces, if it's nothing but something for them to use their legs for circulation and their arms for circulation over in the Southside Community Park, so that they won't have to get in their cars and drive down to Carver Park. They can just walk from their homes up to the Southside Community Park instead of just cutting this budget for $10,000. I would ask that this council allow this to stay $35,000, so that we could at least give him the opportunity to put 1 and or 2 pieces of exercise equipment out there for those seniors.
Madam Chair.
You have a set that walk every morning, excuse me, at 5:30. Yes, sir, Councilor Marshall.
No, I was just going to agree with you on that.
Thank you so much, Councilor Marshall.
That, Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
I agree. You lobbied real well. I agree with you.
Because I run into them every
fine.
day, and they always ask me, where is our equipment? And they're not nice when they ask me that, and I can only tell them that I have turned it in. So thank you all, counselors, for that.
If it's okay, we can move to the next item.
Yes. Next item, Ms. Pryor.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, the next item is the Recreation Center. That's number line item 525051.
What page are you on?
Let's see.
25. Is that page 25?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay,
Counselor.
while she gets to this line item, my question is, how do we differentiate between park and rec and recreation? But I mean, what is the difference between the two? So is it park and rec, and then just the recreation center itself?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, how I've been differentiating has been, and me, the park and rec on Highway 150, our facility. That's standalone by itself, and then the outside parks in the communities, Southside, McNeil, Carver, and etc. Mr. Person.
That's the park and recreation, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a park and recreation that covers all of the different parks throughout the different district, well, throughout the city, and the recreation, the rec is the the rec center down in
the rec center standalone, right?
Yes, ma'am. I just when I saw the recreation in 2 different places, it just kind of wanted to get some
correct, Mrs. Pryor? Is that correct, Mrs. Pryor?
Yes, sir. Yes, the recreation center account that we're going to look at now, it's just that standalone recreation center itself. Park and Recreation covers all the different parks within the districts and the communities.
And the
Yes.
walking trails is included in the with Mr. Person, am I correct?
That's under Park and Recreation with Brian Parsons.
Gotcha. All right, thank you all.
Okay. Madam Chair, do I have the floor?
Okay, I'm sorry, Miss Pryor, I was muted.
You ready for me?
I didn't hear what you.
Are you ready for me to move on to the next item?
Yes, ma'am. If there's no more questions, move on to the next item.
Okay, thank you. The next item, so we're on page 25 and the Recreation Center, that standalone facility. And there was a question about 525051. Okay, page 25, Recreation Center. So there was a question about the summer program and just needing a little bit of clarification and more justification about those type of expenses, but and how the summer camp works. So flyers are put out in the schools and also in the recreation building. Campers are enrolled on a first come, first served basis. Applications are filled out and dues are paid. The campers participate in activities such as field trips, arts and crafts, sports, swimming, etc. The program is 10 hours per day. The program lasts for 10 weeks throughout the summer. And last year, the fee was $500. And they're expecting about 40 kids to participate this year. They're going to have a little bit smaller capacity because of COVID restrictions. And this information came, of course, from Mr. Woodard.
Counselors, are there any questions and or concerns? Okay, next, Ms. Pryor.
Okay, the final thing, there was a question about some of the telephones in the Public Works Department. And I just got a count, and this is the whole Public Works Department, which has about 5 to 6 divisions within that. But they have 18, there's a question about the number of cell phones. And cell phones are issued to managers, the department head, of course, and line supervisors. There are 18 cell phones issued. We also have two-way radios issued to key personnel that need to have the handheld radios, and there's 79 of those issued out.
Which page is on Public Works? Excuse me, Madam Chair. I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Okay.
As far as why you looking at that, I had a question on my page, something about the flea market. Was there a question? Or was I thinking about going to the flea market?
No, ma'am. Madam Chair, it was. I asked the question concerning the flea market. It's saying that the flea market had been inoperative for the way that it has been. As to give me, I was asking for an explanation as to why was it still being included in the budget, and she said that she was going to reach out. She know that there had been a reduction, but she would seek out more information concerning it and report back to us. Now, does anyone know what Public Works are on, so I can document those 18 employees and 79 field radios? What page are we on with the Public Works that you just gave us information?
Okay, yes, the question originated from page 16, which is public improvement. That's where the question originated from. And there was a question about cell phones and how many there were issued out. And so that's the information that I received from over in that department. That there are 18 cellular phones issued. Well, actually, I got this information. I pulled it from Rick Singleton. He handles this information. So there's 18 cell phones, and those go out to managers and line supervisors and the department head. Also, there are two-way radios issued through Southern Link, and there are 79 of those. And this is over the total public works department, not one, because we have street sanitation, public improvement, and there's about 6 different divisions within public works.
Okay, I guess expounding or reverting back to the clarity concerning the flea market. I guess you must have forgotten that one.
Well, with the flea market, there was uncertainty about, whether that would, those activities would resume. So, we can adjust that because I'm not sure if they, plan to resume or when they plan to pick those operations back up.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I really don't see where that has any bearing. I mean, if they resume, they buy a license, they pay taxes. If they don't, it's just an idle item on the budget. I mean, the same as if any store closed down, and they may come back, and they'll be a part of the revenue base, that comes into the city. So I just don't see what bearing the flea market has as a line item. It may come back.
Okay,
Madam Chair.
I yield
Go
to you.
ahead, Council Crusoe. Go ahead, Council Crusoe.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Council Marshall. With us going over our budget, I mean, also I'm passing by and seeing that we're reserving a line item in our budget annually for a business that's not in operation. I mean, it's it seems like the more sensible and rational thing to do. It what's to question it, and that's just what I did, and I'm continuing to do. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Ms. Pryor.
Councilor Matthews.
Are we gonna leave it like it is? I'm just.
What is your take on it, Mr. Matthews?
I think we ought to just. I think we just leave it as is, and if they jump up and running, we'll get their revenue, and then we'll know how to adjust it at our next on our next budget. Would be hopefully in the next 6 months, because we have such short time frame, short window, and if we leave it like it is and see it's not gonna be, we can address it at that particular time.
Thank you, councilors. Thank you, Ms. Pryor, for your explanations. And if there's no more questions and or concerns, I'll entertain a motion, a vote at this time, and a roll call.
Madam Chair.
To accept. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Pryor, with the grant assistance coming from Community Economic Development, where do they do we take in those payments at City Hall through the Finance Department, the Revenue Department?
Yes, ma'am. Any revenue that the city receives comes in through the Revenue Department. Any revenue comes in, whether it's through grants or golf course, citizen, any revenue that comes in, it does make its way through the Finance Department, because we of course have to receive that revenue and in our statement. However, it's not a part of our general fund budget. That's on a separate grant fund. Those are different than our operating budget.
So if I was a citizen 65 and older and got the grant money that I have to pay back, I make my check payable to the city of Bessemer?
for what type of, what specific?
The home loan or either the home repair program.
If you've gotten a home loan, it depends on which one, but there are some that come directly. Yes, they pay them here through Redwood Park.
Okay, and what about the home repair, the home repair program?
I'm not sure. I would have to like know specifically what you're speaking about, but we do make home loans and repairs and different things like that. Those programs, they do, if there is a loan, they are serviced through here. They come through.
Okay, so say if I wanted to get my roof fixed and I came to Bessemer to get to community economic to Mr. Ward and they approved my grant, who do I start paying my grant money back to?
Yes, some of those loans come back here. They are paid back here.
So I make the check payable to the city of Bessemer.
That's my understanding. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all. I'll entertain a motion, a second, and a roll call for the City of Bessemer operating budget fiscal year 2021.
Motion to adjourn.
No.
No, ma'am, we have not.
Motion to approve
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
operating budget for fiscal year 2021.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we will, as a body, approve the motion, the budget for operating year, fiscal year 2020-2021. Ms. Taylor, roll call, please.
Councilor Alexander.
Aye.
Councilor Crusoe. Did she say? Councilor Marshall.
Aye.
I said aye.
Okay, I think I got it. Councilor Thigpen.
Aye.
Councilor Matthews.
Aye.
Councilor Donald.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, the motion carries.
Thank you, councilors, for your time this morning. And I pray that we will hear from you on Monday at our special call meeting. I need a motion, a second, and a roll call.
Madam Chair, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Yes, sir. Need a roll call, Ms. Taylor?
Councilor Alexander.
Aye.
Councilor Crusoe.
Aye.
Councilor Marshall.
Aye.
Councilor Thigpen.
Aye.
Councilor Matthews.
Aye.
Councilor Donald.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. I'm sorry, 6 ayes, no nays, the motion.
You all have a great week now. Bye-bye.